All right, friends, it's T, and I'm back with another video on these religious slaves. I'm going to do another one on it. I found this one to be interesting. So I'm going to do a video, a reaction video to this video by the Book of Ministries, by Cliff Hetchy. His name is Cliffy Hetchel. So Cliff Hetchel says, combative atheist contradicts himself and left speechless when pressed by this. Okay, so he's labeling this guy. He gave him a label, called him an atheist, whatever that's supposed to mean. But okay. I guess to him it means somebody that doesn't believe in fake beliefs. Okay. Let's react.
I often ask myself is, what do atheists get denying the existence of God? I mean, you have to...
What do these humans get when they deny the existence of a dude inside of a book? I don't know. They get nothing because it doesn't do anything to them. Why?
Ignore so much to maintain that unbelief, especially when you consider
that unbelief. Yeah, they know it exists on paper. There's paper, it scribbles, and it's a book, and it says Holy Bible on it. Yeah, they know it exists. They know that this book exists, but you want to make it. You want to make it real. You want to make something real and put it out in the real world. It doesn't work, dude. It doesn't work like that.
Morality. To me, the moral argument is one of the most compelling arguments to think about. In this video, Cliff...
Morality, okay. Morals don't exist in nature, dude. I think your problem is you still don't understand that you're living in an artificial environment called cities, get it? And the material world created by man, not nature.
Has a conversation with a student who is inquisitive and really challenges Cliff on the moral argument until his very own argument is crushed under the weight of his own logical...
No, it's not. He has no answer. He gives you fake answers. He doesn't know anything. Cliffy, he's just a human being like you. You don't know anything. You were born with instincts to survive, but you don't know anything. Come on, man. Fess up.
Fallacies. Let's get into it.
Okay, why don't you believe in God?
I'm not going to stand here and say,
hey, why don't you believe in God? Why don't you believe in this book that I carry around called God, Holy Bible? Why don't you believe? Because it's fake?
well, I don't believe in God, and that's not something that's a semi-personal issue. I'm not going to.
All right. Well, you're the one who brought up.
Like he's trying to bring it out in the real world, something fictitious in a book, and say, why don't you believe in this fictitious character? Because it's fictitious. That's the answer, really, okay? And this is how you answer back to these religious zealots, okay? These religious slaves.
The issue of guilt, not me. You're the one who brought up Dostoevsky, not me. Now, Dostoevsky puts it...
Dostoevsky, what is that, a Russian writer? Another book by another man? Okay. What does that have to do with this other book that you're carrying around called the Bible?
Brilliantly there in the Brothers Karamazov. If there is no God, everything is permissible. Now,
Hold on. If there's no God, everything is permissible. Yes. There's nature, and everything is permissible in nature. All you have to do is go out there by yourself in nature, and you'll see that these animals, they don't give a shit about your man-made laws. They're going to fucking eat you. They're going to tear you apart and swallow you. And you can argue with them all you want about morals, but they don't give a shit about your morals in nature. They're going to destroy you.
the way you choose to experience your life is, not everything is permissible. It's not permissible to go out...
Yes, it is. It is. Everything is permissible in nature.
...in rape and murder.
Within means, providing you don't break the laws of nature. You understand me? And then you won't suffer from that. So yeah, it's permissible. It is.
It's not permissible to go out and steal and lie and cheat.
Well, the animals are raping and cheating and stealing and lying out there in nature. They're doing all these things. Yes, they are doing them, Cliffy. And humans have been doing them for centuries, providing when they lived out in nature before they broke the laws of nature, when they ate an apple, an addictive apple, a toxic addictive apple from a tree. And then they couldn't stop eating that. And that caused all the problems.
Now, because you experience life that way, Don't you think that that's a powerful piece of evidence that some type of God exists?
No, you didn't give me any evidence. There's no evidence that your God exists. Nature exists. Yeah, there's evidence that nature exists. Yes,
Some type of creator of these values?
No.
the creator. There's no values. You were created with instincts to survive and your senses. That's about it. That's what nature gave you.
I think it's.
It didn't even give you knowledge. You're gathering experiences, and you think that these experiences are knowledge, but they could fool you. Even your experiences could be fake. You don't even know. See, that's the thing. You don't know. You don't know. So you go a lot, like I said, you go off your experiences, everything. Can an apple be addictive? Yeah, it can be addictive, very addictive to everybody because it has addictive properties within it. That's what we've discovered, okay? And it causes suffering and death and disease.
It's powerful evidence that these are real, absolute precepts, and I don't think you need a God to fit the data or make the data fit.
How do
I
you
don't think
come
it's
up with a
evidence for it.
real, absolute precept without a thinking mind?
Because we all have thinking minds, at least.
Thinking minds, we're thinking. What does that have to do with anything? That you're sitting and thinking about stuff? That is not based on knowledge, thinking. You understand me? You're thinking. That's why you call it thinking. It's not. You're not born with knowledge. You're born with instincts to survive. Hello.
Most of us do.
Yeah, but who created those absolute precepts?
I love this guy. He's trying to convince him. Well, who created it? Who created it or what created it? See, his whole thing is who created it, because he wants to convince you who created a character, a fictitious character created it. But he didn't tell you what created what. I could tell you what created it. You're created through nature. That's what. From nature. You're created out of nature.
I don't know.
Well, obviously,
He doesn't know because nobody created him. You understand? It's not a who.
if there is no God, you and I created him.
There is no God. There's no dude, a God, a character called God out there. What the hell? What part does he not understand?
We human beings did, because it obviously requires a mind.
Yeah, we did create him. We fabricated him and we put him in a book called the Holy Bible, and you carry it around, this idol. You carry your God around, this idol, because he can't carry himself around.
To define a precept.
Ask yourself this question. Why does God need money? When you go to these churches or these mosques or whatever, they lavish these places with money. Why does God need money? You understand me? Why does God need money?
And if we human beings are the ones who created the precepts, then they're all relative. They're definitely not absolute.
Yeah, we did create them. There you go. He proved it.
Why? We're all
Why?
human beings. We all share the similar qualities. I mean,
We do share similar qualities, and we're all suffering similarly together because we can't stop eating artificial foods, breaking the laws of nature, the real God, nature out there. That's why we've abandoned nature and we're trying to destroy God. We're trying to destroy nature, which is God. And he's not really, it's really difficult to destroy nature, which is God. That's the thing. We're trying, but it's really, it's difficult. You're not going to destroy it. You're not going to destroy it because it's an apex. It's apex on this planet. Nature is apex.
why does value have to come from something exterior to the human mind or the human soul or the human heart or whatever you consider to be the most important, the core of being a human being we all share?
Sir, if there is no God,
The core is being out in nature, but you wouldn't know what that's like because you're enslaved in this artificial world, dude. You're a slave.
core of being a human being is biochemical reactions. If there is no
Biochemical reactions of being a human being. Okay. I love his analogies. He just makes up stuff.
God, matter and energy is all there is to reality. You don't
Matter and energy, that's all there is to reality. Well, yeah, we're made up of, apparently, according to what we think we are, energy and matter. Yeah, we think they're both one and one, but I don't know that. I don't know because I don't know anything. I never created the energy, or I don't even know where it came from, or it was always here, or whatever. This matter that exists, I don't know how it operates, and neither does he. No, neither does anybody out there. Nobody does. You could go to a school and get a certificate and fabricate some fake information and say, well, I got a certificate in kinesiology or something. Kinesiology, like Greg Doucette. You know what I mean? And argue that you actually know something because you went to some stupid school that fabricated some shit together and said, here's a certificate. Now you know something. You don't know anything. I know so many doctors that went to school and they studied a bunch of man-made written words and they don't know anything.
Have a soul if there is no God. You don't have love if there is no God. You have biochemical reactions. Naturalism wins the day.
So you're telling me that all the atoms that are made up in my body, if they're arranged in a different way, would somehow be exactly the same as me standing here talking to you, being rational, communicating, having morals, having values.
You don't have any morals in nature. Morals don't exist in nature. They're controlling you. They want you to have morals by giving you man's laws, by making you adhere to man's laws and not nature's laws. Listen, they want you to sin against nature by breaking nature's laws, but they don't. But they don't want you to how should I put it? I don't know how to explain this. It's complicated. Break the laws of whatever, the laws of man, the man's laws. Okay, they don't want you to break man's laws, so they want you to break every law in nature, like the sound barrier, this, that, whatever. Do a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Fly up in space, go astronaut, do this, that. You know what I mean? A bunch of things. They even want to break. They want to break everything, even gravity and all this. They want to do a bunch of weird stuff, which then adds to consequences. And then when planes crash, they get crazy. When cars smash, families are dead, they get crazy. They blame it on who? Let's blame it on God. Let's not blame it on us breaking the laws of nature. We have to blame it on God. It's God's fault why we're suffering. It's God's fault why we crashed and my family's dead or the airplane fell down. You know what I mean? Let's go pray now. Let's go pray and do a bunch of stuff. Yeah, okay. Whatever, you get the point.
3 out of my body was arranged into a tree. That tree would be exactly the same as me. We'd be equivalent just because our biochemical structure is the same.
Sir, I don't have the faintest
Biochemical structure is the same as a tree? I don't think so.
idea what you would be if instead of a head you had a third arm between your two shoulders. Now, come on, bud,
That's Cliffy this guy is really stupid, but he's smart enough to brainwash these people to making them believe. Look at them. These things fucking recruiting slaves. Let me recruit some more religious slaves.
the most ludicrous.
It's like all these religious people, they all go out there because they want to do what? They're trying to slave you to their religion, to this cult. They're recruiting religious slaves. Get it? Like the Jehovah's Witness. I met, there was a street up here. I went up there. Jehovah's Witness. The first thing they did was they were trying to recruit me to be a Jehovah's Witness, a slave, enslave me to Jehovah's Witness. And I said to them, I can prove my God is real and yours is fake. And they go, okay, go ahead. I go, yours is right there. He lives there in that pamphlet, that book. And they go, no, our God is the Almighty God. Yeah, he's in that book, the Almighty God in that book. I go, here, you want to see my God? It's right here. This grass and this tree and everything, nature, that sun out there, those clouds and everything in the air, that's my God. I call it the God of nature. And I say, when you break my God's laws, when you eat that fake diet, guess what? You're going to suffer pain, suffering, and death. Get it, dude? Yeah, they're like, holy shit, that makes sense. I go, yeah. I go, what are you drinking there? They go, coffee. Well, that's toxic. You're sinning against my God, nature. You're going to pay that price. See, that's why you know my God is real. My God is powerful. Yours is just a piece of shit in a book, okay?
Idea I've heard out here
That's what you're
today.
saying.
No, it is not what I'm
all I
saying.
have is a pile of atoms.
What I'm saying is, if there is no God, all we are is matter and energy.
No, we're not. Okay, let's just put it this. We are energy and matter. But what does that have to do with this God character? He goes, if there's no God, all we are is matter and energy. We are only matter and energy. In this reality, we are matter and energy. That's it. He was right when he said that. But now because I know he's trying to convince them that there's something beyond this, and there is not.
Now, you know that, don't you? Or you really think that there's There's a
See, he's going to argue it because he's so angry. He's like, how could we just be energy and matter? We must be something more. So let me fabricate it. I have this thing. Let me make up this word called soul. And let me make up this other thing called heaven and hell. We're going to go there when we die. But guess what? We're sinful people and all this. This is where it all comes from. This is where it all stems from. All the bullshit stems.
possibility that we have a soul and a spirit if there is no God.
See, how did I know he was going to say that? A soul and a spirit. I didn't even watch this video. See? A soul and if there's no God. See what I mean? He thinks that we have some magic powers, like we're something special. We're nothing. We're nothing. Our job is to procreate, create more DNA, and die. That's it. Our energy will get reabsorbed, and so will this matter or whatever.
You got a mind. You said that that's how we. Every day you preach faith as.
See, he can't accept the truth. That's the problem with Cliff Hetchy. He can't accept reality. You understand me? So he has to fabricate an imaginary world, like a person daydreaming in school, these kids, because they're eating artificial diets, they're toxic, and they're causing them to daydream, and they start daydreaming about all these weird things.
Faith that looks at evidence and then takes one step beyond. So
Faith looks at evidence. Faith is not based on evidence. It's based on faith, dude. Get it? It's fake.
obviously you're using the mind as a way to approach a God. Why can't you use the mind to approach some other sort of value system that doesn't require a God?
You can, but you better use your mind
Oh, brother. There's no God. There's just nature, okay?
to explore your experience, and you better ask yourself, this is the way I
Yeah, but they're not exploring their experiences because they're not experiencing nature as it was intended to be experienced. You are experiencing something artificial, man's fucking material world. Get it?
experience life. I experience moral absolutes. Maybe not many, but at least a few.
No, he doesn't. He experiences everything that is unnatural in this unnatural environment, man-made environment.
Now, how is it possible for there to be a moral absolute? There's only one way, and that's for there to be some type of mind prior to the human mind that creates and defines these moral absolutes. Because if there is no mind,
He thinks the mind is going to create something. If your mind creates something, it's imaginary. Get it? It's not physical. See what I mean? I'm not saying you can't manipulate the environment and build a car or a house. That's a manipulation. But you cannot create something from nothing. That's bullshit. No human can.
prior to the human mind, then it's obvious the human mind creates morals, which means all those morals are relative.
The human mind doesn't create morals. There are no morals in nature. Get it? The morals are man's laws. Those are laws to control your morality. You understand me?
Depending upon which human mind you're talking to. So there are no moral absolutes if there is no God. If there is no mind prior to the human mind, morality is relative.
Right. Well, I don't know.
Follow that line
It is.
of thinking or not? Am I great?
Yeah, I do, but I think the best way to summarize what I'm saying is there's some quote, I don't know who said it, but God created man in his image, and man, being a gentleman, then created God in his image. So the way
Man created God in his image. Yeah. You understand me? Man created God in his image. And now he says that God created man in his image. I told you, man is not God, but they think they are.
I look at it is that we injected all our moral precepts that come from inside into something.
They can't even move beyond anything else but man by visualizing that a man is a god somehow and he died for you. He came down as a man and then he died for you on a cross because you ate an apple? Okay. And pain is suffering. Yeah, it's going to take it away.
We call it God in order to organize human beings.
Because you sinned, because you ate an artificial diet in nature, you sinned against this nature. So this God character lived in the sky. He came down, got born as a man, and then he died on a cross for you so you could go to heaven with him up there in the sky, pie in the sky. He died on the cross because you sinned by eating an apple on a tree. You weren't eating your natural diet as a carnivore.
Yeah, much easier. So what difference does it make whether...
Right. Then at least be honest enough to acknowledge morality is relative. And don't stand there talking to me about moral absolutes. That is nonsensical. If there is no God, if you are going to be an atheist or an agnostic, be consistent and say morality is relative. And don't tell me that what happened on September 11th to the World Trade Center, that there's something absolutely evil. No way. That's just all relative, man.
It is. It's all relative. People will act the way they act in nature, whether they want to adhere to man's laws or not. They were not acting. They were not acting in man's laws within the intention of man's laws, following it. With September 11, whatever. I think that's when they crashed the planes into the towers. Yeah, there's humans. They'll do whatever suits them best.
I wouldn't say it's
Look what the Nazis did during World War II. They have any morals?
absolutely evil.
Good. You don't say it's absolutely evil. And if you're
Oh, you call it evil. You label it as evil. It is not evil. There's no such thing as evil. There's no such thing as really good. There's just you doing things in nature.
sister gets raped, there's nothing absolutely evil about that. It might be wrong from your perspective, but obviously from the perspective of the rapist, it's just fine. And you certainly wouldn't be arrogant enough to lay your relative arbitrary prejudices of what morality is on another human being, would you? Because that...
Oh man, this guy really... That's man's laws again. Rape. The word rape doesn't exist in nature. Those are man's laws you're breaking. Hello? They have nothing to do with your morals. We are immoral.
would be horribly arrogant. So instead, if you're a moral...
Again, arrogant doesn't exist in nature. That's something you're labeling somebody with. Get it? Cliffy?
relativist, you acknowledge the opposite of my opinions about gay bashing, aborting babies, battered wives. I don't obviously know what you feel about those, but if you're a moral relativist, obviously you've got to be consistent.
And why are those things happening? Because humans have no morals. Get it? That's why they created the 10 Commandments. These or whatever. The police have the code, the criminal code, and all that. It's to control you, slaves. You understand me? So you don't act immoral. You understand? It's to control you, slaves.
Means the opposite of what I feel on those ethical positions is equally valid as my position.
Well, it's kind of
Ethics don't exist in nature.
interesting considering I being an agnostic, I'm appalled at what happened on September 11th, but yet, you know, these men who believe so strongly in a God that they would go, as you say, as Dostoevsky would say, and as you pointed out, stepped over, went beyond the permissible, committed these atrocious acts in the name of God.
Thank you for your honesty. Don't you see the way you contradict yourself so violently?
He didn't contradict himself. They committed it in the name. They used that as an excuse. They committed these atrocities in the name of what? This dude in a book. Get it? So they could blame it.
You are appalled by what happened.
That way they could get away with breaking man's laws and say they were doing it in the name of this God character, blah, 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 blah. That way they didn't show that they broke any laws, these fake laws that like the 10 Commandments or whatever, man's laws. Well, they're going to say it's God's laws, but they're going to say God gave them permission to break these laws. Get it? Because we did it in the name of God. We killed these people, massacred them and everything. We raped the women, we killed the children, the villagers, and everybody in the name of God. Get it? Whatever.
September 11th. You cannot live out your moral relativism. In fact, I've never met a moral relativist who has lived out their moral relativism. Because at some point in life, you're going to fall back on moral absolutes. And you're going to say, I'm appalled by that. I'm sorry, you can't. If you're a moral relativist, you can just simply say, from my perspective, that's wrong. But my perspective is obviously arbitrary. It's obviously relative. It's just my own bias. Cannot live out moral relativism, guys. It's impossible. None of you do.
Okay.
And that's why I'm so grateful a bunch of my moral relativist friends, after September 11th, are going back and reconsidering their moral relativism. Because they know that their experience of life violently contradicts moral relativism. It doesn't hold water.
Talk about leaving someone utterly speechless. For a moment, he tried to be consistent with his moral relativism by saying September 11th, wasn't absolutely evil because he tried to stay consistent with his moral relativism until Cliff shifted to rape and abortion and these different things that really triggered his conscience. And once Cliff positioned to those things, he circled back and said, well, I'm appalled by September 11th. Of course you are. We all are. Because that is absolutely wrong, evil 100% of the time for everyone.
No, it's not. It wasn't evil for them. They did it because they could. They can't because humans don't have any morals. No animal does in nature. That's why. I don't know what he's talking about. He's just trying to rationalize all this stuff. Somebody else's behavior because it wasn't based on their behavior.
The problem is
Many people do that. You know, well, why is this person behaving like that? I don't know. They're doing it for a reason. They have their reasons why they do it. You understand me? They weren't doing it before, but all of a sudden they're doing it now. Get it?
if there is no God, that was not absolutely evil. It was not absolutely wrong. It would be relative. It would be their opinions, the hijackers' opinions, versus those in the World Trade Center or those on the airplane passing the passengers on the airplane. It would be
No, the passengers, they were victims of these people acting immorally. That's all. Get it? And then people are going to say, well, we're acting with morals. We're going to protect ourselves. No, they're still acting immoral. They're just defending themselves now because something's going there and they don't like it. So people defend. People fight. People defend. People do this, do that. It's going on forever, even now. It's going on forever.
opinionated. And that's an insane.
People are acting immoral as we speak right now. Everywhere in the world, there's something happening right now that you would consider immoral. Why are they doing this? They publish deaths in every city. There's a person being raped, killed right now as we are making this video and speaking. Why is that happening? Why is that still happening? Because us animals, humans, are immoral. We act immorally. Get it, dude? That's it. But other people, well, they try to control it. They try to control it. They're under wraps. They give you have a job, money, so you think, well, I shouldn't do these things, even though sometimes you slip up and still do it. But oh, I shouldn't do that because I might lose my job, I might lose my house. That's how they imprison you to these things. They have enslaved you to these things, and then you try to convince yourself not to act immorally so you don't have these problems. But you truly want to act immoral, get it? Because that's how you're built. You're built that way as a human.
World to live in. But the atheists who claim there is no God, they will say that, well, there can be morality in it.
They didn't claim there was no God. They're claiming that a man is not a god. They're not saying that there isn't a creator or something that exists out there that we manifest ourselves from this creation. They just think that we're so technically built as a human compared to other animals. We can speak, communicate, we have hands, we can manipulate our environment, but we can't create something from nothing. Do you understand me? Therefore, we don't know anything because we don't know how the human mind really works because we never built one. We don't know how a human body really works because we've never built a human. Get it? Out of nothing. Something from nothing. But we're trying with the boson thing and all that. We're acting immorally because we're trying to create God particles and all these weird things. You're telling me people are not acting immorally? Look at the police out there. They carry guns and things. They're to kill you. Why is your society allowing these cops to run around loose with guns? Is this not immoral to shoot somebody? But they do it. See, understand me? They beat people up. The cops, they beat you. They treat you like shit. And once they arrest you, aren't they under your care when they arrest you? But once they arrest you, they start beating you even worse. They treat you like worse than any other animal out there. Get it? They fucking hate you. Where's the morals in all of this?
The godless universe. There cannot be. Because if there's no standard of morality,
there is no standard of morality. What does this guy not understand? You're trying to define it with a fictitious character that you created in a book. It has nothing to do with that.
Then there is no absolute right or wrong. It would be
There is no absolute right or wrong. There's just You do it or you don't do it out there. There are lions. Let's just use this for an example. A bunch of lions. They see, I don't know, there's what do you call it? A hyena. He kills the hyena. Why? He doesn't eat it, but he kills it. Why? Because it's competing with him for food. So he kills it. He doesn't eat it because it's a putrid animal. They don't eat carnivore animals. They eat herbivore animals. And you're going to go, what a waste. No, it's not a waste because, number one, they discarded him. They got rid of him. Okay, why does the lion kill the cubs of another lion when he's trying to take over the pack? He just doesn't want him there. He just does it. Is he acting immoral? Yeah, to you, he's acting immoral. But he's just acting natural in nature, how all animals act in nature. It's just like that. If they have an advantage over another human, a human has an advantage to steal something that you have that you've been working so hard for, they'll do it. They're doing it now in this day. They're stealing from you constantly. They're acting immoral. Think about it. You just can't visualize it because you're stupid, okay? Here, I'm going to educate you. You are being used to create money, to work, to go to work, to slave you, to go to a slave school, then go to a slave job, make slave money, and then go to a slave store and buy your slave food and everything. And then they sell you these slave foods which are worthless, and then they steal your slave money, okay? By taxes and taxing you constantly everywhere, taxes, and raising the prices of stuff that you can't afford because you're making a slave wage, and then there's no money left for you, so you can't make headway. You try to break out and go free, but it's really difficult because you're always like, I don't have enough money to break out, get a business or anything. They want you to believe all these things. That's how they imprison people. People have self-defeated themselves, get it, by telling themselves, oh, I can't create a business, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. You could do anything you want to do. They did it, didn't they? So you can too. They just want you to put all these things because they're acting immorally. They want to use you. They want to enslave you. You're a slave.
Human being, opinion versus someone else's opinion. It will be preferences. You don't prefer to be shot. This person wants to
No, nobody does, but it could happen, right? It could happen.
steal your stuff or take your life. It's just
Yeah, they could steal your stuff and take your life. That guy they found in Switzerland in the mountain, frozen in ice, they said he was stabbed, this, that, he was running away. Eventually, he died up there. They were trying to rob him and steal from him or do something to him. I don't know. It's a rough place. It's a rough time. Yeah, humans were like that, acting immorally. It's dangerous being around humans. They're dangerous animals. They can kidnap you and put you into a thing called the Colosseum in Rome.
at that point a battle of the will, a battle of might, a battle of who has the most tactical skill to survive that situation. But it's not absolutely wrong. And that is a crazy...
Yeah, the strong survive and the weak die. Think about it. Strong survive, weak die. It's just like that. It happens. I've seen things in the gym now recently, like this Jeff Nippert guy. This guy pushed him, a big guy, bigger, stronger. Strong and weak. Strong survives, weak dies. He could have died. Anything could happen. Did he act with morals when he grabbed him by the throat and pushed him down? No, of course not. Doesn't give a shit about him. And everybody's like complaining, and all these other people are complaining about it because they just think they're a bunch of special zealots. They don't understand what's going on there. So they'll start attacking him too. Do they have morals because they're attacking him now constantly about what he did, pushing poor little Jeffy? See what I mean? And everybody's going to do videos on it. I don't really give a shit. There are no morals out there. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you or anything. If you die, you're gone. That's it. Whatever. Does anybody care about Donald Trump? No, they didn't care about him, but he won. And he knew they didn't care about him, but he persevered. They tried to kill him twice. They tried to put him away, put him in stinky jail and everything, all that kind of stuff, prosecuting him, suing him. They did everything in the book, but guess what? He survived because strong survives, weak die.
Absurd world to live in. A world that does not exist. A world that even the atheists and the moral relativists are not consistent with. They are not consistent with their own worldview and how quickly he contradicted his own position. He circled back and said he was appalled because his conscience is an independent courtroom in the heart.
Yeah. I would say we're built with what you would label a conscience. A conscience. It would bother you later if you did something and it wasn't had a very specific goal in mind. Yeah, I don't know. Or you had a conscience because you stole somebody. You took something from somebody out in nature, and then you had a conscience about it. You're like, oh yeah, I put that guy under. Yeah, but eventually you'll get over it.
It determines right from wrong, whether we like it or not. Now, some of our conscience can...
Yeah, right from wrong. It's telling you that was wrong, but you did it anyways because you needed to survive, because you needed to feed your family and they have to survive. Get it? That's just the laws of nature.
Be seared like a burnt piece of steak, and it's completely dull, has
Yeah,
no
if you didn't eat, you were gonna die. I don't know.
feeling to it at all, but it is still there. And we just saw that in this video. And once that conversation got going and Cliff began to flesh out the issues of moral relativism, he was utterly speechless. Many have tried
No, he wasn't.
to explain morality without God. All have failed.
Morality without God? God doesn't exist, but you mean morality in nature? Explain it. What's there to explain? It's natural. He already talked about it in another video. I already made one about Cliffy. He says, I acted natural. I wanted to have sex with all these women because it was natural. You understand me? All the things he said were natural. Yeah, because he's acting naturally in nature. You would act that way because it's natural for you to act that way, dude. Get it? To not have morals is natural because that's how nature built us. Nature built us naturally to naturally be immoral. Get it? Yeah, there you go. There's your answer. Okay.
Is rooted in a human mind, whether it's a society of humans, whether it's a couple of humans, whether it's a nation of humans. If it's still rooted, if morality is rooted in human minds, it is going to be relative, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, it's going to exist there always. This has nothing to do with some dude, God dude, and you try to suppress it, it's not going to work. You understand me? You can't create something from nothing. It's always going to be there.
Thankfully, no one truly lives like that. We all understand that
Why? Why are you upset? They're still doing it. They're robbing people, they're thieving, they're shooting, killing, maiming, torturing. They're doing a bunch of stuff out there. Look around. Read the newspaper. Where you been?
there are certain things that are absolutely wrong. And if one thing is absolutely wrong for everyone at all times, that is concrete proof that there is a God. The fact that there
Yeah, there is nature, that there's concrete proof that you come from nature because you're acting what? Naturally, in nature, of nature. Get it? It's natural. You understand me, man? But now, if you're doing things unnaturally within nature, breaking the laws of nature, well, then you're going to pay for it.
are absolutes is proof that God is absolutely real. When it comes to the moral argument, Cliff does a great job in these raw, unfiltered conversations, really fleshing out these things in real time.
Like,
and
if you think you're stronger than a bear and you want to fight with him, well, go ahead. All right, but don't be surprised if the bear destroys you, because bigger, stronger in nature. Get it? Nature works that way. Bigger is stronger. I can't explain any more to this to you if you can't understand it. I'm sorry.
people's minds begin to change, at least they're thinking about what he's saying. And I pray that in that little crack of their foundation cracking, that the light of the gospel can...
Yes, they're becoming more domesticated. So yes, they're becoming more wimpy. Yes. I don't know. Are they? Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. Like I said, they're eating artificial food, which is making them suffer from mental illnesses. So probably they're acting more immoral than they should be because they've broken the laws of nature, eating artificial food, which is causing them mental illnesses and physical ailments and other problems. And so they can't stop it, okay?
seep in and illuminate their heart, and they receive Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. So let's pray.
You're going to receive this Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. He's going to be your Lord. Okay, your Lord. Hey, Lord. And he's going to be your Savior. How is he going to save you? How is he going to say? He didn't save you. He said he died on a cross for you because you're addicted to these foods that are destroying you, pain and suffering and dying. So, and disease. So how did that solve your problems? Because he died on a cross. He didn't take it away from you. He didn't stop you from sinning by eating these artificial foods, which are causing you pain, suffering, disease, and death. So it doesn't make any sense to me, whatever the fuck you're talking about there. Get it, dude?
For all those individuals that were listening, the man that was talking, and of course all of Cliff's encounters on college campuses, let's pray that seeds are sown and that the gospel does its powerful work.
He's just recruiting religious slaves, that's all. Because why do these religions need money? Because without money, they don't exist. You understand me? They don't exist. Without money, none of this exists in nature. None of this. It only exists in man's world. See you in the next one, friends. Don't you think about that? Like, subscribe, support the channel. That's why money, according to these people, money is the root of all evil. Probably is. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.